Hello and welcome to computer class. My name is Dave and today we're talking about HTML lists. So navigate to W3 Schools and click on their HTML tutorial and then click on the List tab. Now when it comes to HTML lists, there are three types of lists. There are ordered lists, unordered lists, and then there are description lists. The most important of these is the unordered list, is because you use the unordered list to create something called the navigation at the top of your website. And so here we see an example here that they show you the unordered list and they show you the ordered list. That's the difference. Unordered has the bullet points and ordered has numbers. So basically, an unordered list starts out with a UL tag and the items in the list are the li tag. So I'm actually going to add that to my spreadsheet here. We have a unordered list and then ordered list, and then we have the li, and that is a list item. Okay, moving on, we have the ordered list, and that is represented by OL. Okay, and notice list item, the same thing is going on. List items are represented, so ordered list, keeping in mind that the unordered list is the most important because of the navigation. All right, and then lastly, description list, and that is DL. Now, very rarely do you use description lists, but they are represented by DL for description list, and then we have DT happens to be the tag that defines the description list. The DT tag defines the term name, and the DD tag describes the term. So let's do description list. Ah, list. All right, and DT, it's a tag that defines the term name. So let's put that in there too. And then lastly, they said the DD tag describes each term. Okay, describes each term. Cool. So these are the basic building blocks of a list. Let's then click on unordered list because there are some caveats. Unordered list has a lot of customization that you can do to it. Okay, so each item by default in the list, if I click to try it myself here, it uses the dark circle method there, but you can totally change these styles. They say that the unordered list is able to have a list style property brought to you by CSS, which then can be defined as a type using the value position for disk, circle, square, which disk is the default, so you don't really have to write that one. But circle, square, and none is another one if you want to. Okay, so I'm actually going to grab this and say that this is the unordered style. I'm actually going to add underneath the unordered list here. And we're going to say this line of code is unordered list style. Just for consistency, I'll do that. Okay. And basically, you could change it to any of these, and so you can just look that up. Now the circle, if you look at it, looks like that as a It's hollow in the middle, square, looks like this. Nice little bullet points. And this, you can do this in like Microsoft Word, but we're talking about how to do it in HTML. An unordered list without bullet points is going to be set to a list style type of none. Now, why this is important is you can start nesting lists inside of lists. For instance, if one of your list items could become an unordered list, so there's the example there. You could kind of nest things in if you needed a secondary bullet point to a bullet point. You can also do horizontal lists with CSS, which again, I know this isn't a tutorial about CSS, but if you were to add a list style type of none, the reason you would do that is because for an unordered list, you have to take the unordered list that's this direction and put it horizontally across the top. And if I click to try it myself here, you can see how this creates a navigation. Now what they've got is they have margin and padding are set to 0, the overflow is hidden, they give it a background color, then they float everything left so it's all on this side. Then they display it in a block, so each block is actually clickable. They give it a color of white for the text. The text is aligned to the center. The padding is again 16 pixels. The text decoration is none, so it doesn't actually have an underline. And the reason for that is because they are using the anchor tag here. And they just have placeholders. You could change these placeholders out in the href for actual links to other pages of your website, more than likely, or external links to pages outside the website. Needless to say, they also have a hover color set to target the LI. And notice with CSS, they can target these different tags. And again, I know this isn't a course on CSS, but that's what you do in CSS. You target different tags. So here we have the ultimate goal or end game of a list is, or an unordered list, is actually to create a navigation, which is super cool. Okay. So again, I guess there's many other things to tell here. I could go through the ordered list. It's basically the same. They have different types, like type 1 will give you the number 1. Uppercase, if you want uppercase. There's lots of styles for the ordered list as well. Lowercase letters. It's pretty much you just change the type attribute there. Again, these aren't used incredibly often, so it's not like this is a huge thing. But you can control the counting of the list if you would like to start at a certain number like 50. You can again nest these as well with the other lists. The description list, again, as we already stated, you just use these elements and it creates a description list, and that's basically indented with a dash. So not really a huge deal there. Again, the major one here to be taken into account in learning and really getting down, because it's super important for like every website you will use an unordered list, and that is for the navigation, of course. And again, I can't stress enough, when you learn CSS, you'll be using this basic style. So if you ever want to come back and you have a template right here that you could just copy and paste and or memorize and learn to be able to create in the future navigation for your HTML website. Hopefully you liked this video and you've given it a thumbs up. Hopefully you have subscribed to the channel for more amazing content. And hopefully you learned something today. And as always, I will see you in the next video.